Hi, beautiful ladies. Welcome once more to your amazing slot, the Virtuous Woman, with your very own Dr. Mrs. Linda Nzometia. Such an honor for me to come here once again and share with you on this very interesting topic. What to do with your crush. So, a quite number of ladies have gotten to me asking me that they have a crush on this person. What should they do about it? Can I please address that? How do you go about it? Is it evil to have a crush? Is it a sin to have a crush? And all the questions that you know that surround crush. Who is a crush? Simply said, a crush is someone who is being secretly admired. And that is who a crush is. Growing up as a young lady, your body goes through different morphological, biological, physical, psychological, mental, and what have you changes. And when it comes to emotions, it's just one of the stages in the life of a young lady. By the time a lady enters the adolescent years and grows into the teenage years, before she knows it, she starts having some type of feelings, some type of desires that are strange. And I think that's one thing that characterizes the teenage years that makes teenagers very I don't want to say weird. They don't understand who they are. That's the characteristic of the teenage years. They're almost frustrated about what's happening to them. They don't really know what's happening and they don't know how to go about it. That's why it's the most delicate state of a young lady. I remember when I was a teenager, and I also remember the discussion I had with my mom that changed my life forever. Trust me, everything out there needs a voice, not a judgmental voice, a voice that can understand them and guide them through the teenage years. And of course, that teenager needs to be open to learn too, because no matter how the voice is there, if the person is not open to receive, a closed container can never receive anything. Until the container is open, then can something be put in it. So that's it. So because of what happens, sometimes the teenager is tempted to think, or even sometimes going right up to young adults and even the adult stage, tempted to think that whatever feeling she has, she has to succumb to it. It's not the case. There are several factors aside biological that can build feelings in a young lady and even in a grown-up lady, and sometimes even a married woman is not limited only to singles. If you put yourself in a space that compromises your emotions, compromises your values, your core values, because you need to have boundaries, like we discussed last time. What are the boundaries that you have as a young lady? We need you once you cross the line, you start having some things that you're not understanding what's happening to your body anymore. So what should you do when you find yourself feeling for a guy, feeling for a man? What are some of the things that can cause a young lady to start developing feelings for the opposite sex? Sometimes you don't really want to, or sometimes you don't realize that it has already happened. You don't even know how it started, but you're attracted to this particular guy, this particular brother, and you just love being around him, you love talking to him, you love his company, or you feel jealous when you see him hanging out with another lady, with another sister. Feelings of jealousy start coming in, like, why are you hanging out with this person? Your heart needs to be guarded. The Bible says that guard your heart with all diligence, for out of it springs the issues of life. You don't want to find yourself in that space where your heart has no control, in quote, of course. It's not possible the heart has no control. One, maybe somebody that you're thinking so much about. It may be two, it may be somebody that you're spending so much time with. Three, it may be a guy who ticks the boxes. Let's go back to the boxes. A lady generally, or most ladies, have a character of the man that they would like to have as a life partner, as as to spend the rest of their life with. There's always an ideal man in every lady's head or majority of ladies' heads. And when they see a guy that seems to tick all those boxes, unconsciously they automatically think that he's the one. Even when the brother has said nothing, in their mind they already planned their life to the end with brother. Meanwhile, brother is totally clueless. And sometimes brother is even in a relationship, brother is in courtship about to get married, or maybe the brother is even married. You see a married man and you're like, this man ticks the boxes. What do you need to do when you find yourself in such cases? One, check your heart. There was a video I did on heart hygiene. You may want to go back and watch it. Check your heart. What do you spend your time thinking about? There's nothing wrong, for example, in having a list of what you want in a man. But will you allow that list to control you, or are you the one controlling the list? You made the list, and the list is not going to control you. That is a tentative desire. That's a tentative, those are the tentative characteristics of the kind of man you like to spend the rest of your life with. But it's not fixed. It's a dynamic list. It can change. And also don't think that the person that you eventually get married to must tick all the boxes before you say I do. No, nah. Be flexible. That's what we're saying. But now the trap that you should not fall in is that you see a man who ticks the boxes and you think that he's the one. What if it happens that you get married to him, right? And then you see another man that even seems to tick the boxes more than the one that you are with. Or maybe you're even still in courtship. Will you break this courtship to go to the next courtship? And what if you enter the next courtship and you see another man that seems to tick the boxes more than the next one? You see, that's a trap that you cannot afford to fall in. So, if for example there is a particular person that you find yourself having feelings towards, tilting towards the person, stop thinking about that person. So, stop spending much time with the person. Three, if there was any close, if for example you feel for the person has already come close, right? But he has not made any intentions known, ask him to define the relationship. We've said here time and time and again, there's nothing wrong with a lady asking the man to define the relationship. We spoke about that in a video. I'm going to link it up here. You may want to go back and watch it. Don't allow yourself to be carried around in circles with somebody who has no plan for you. You find yourself in a relationship where you find yourself being in a relationship alone. He's giving you the impression that he's with you, but he's not with you. And sometimes it's unconscious, especially brothers with the temperament sanguine. Sometimes they give the wrong energy. Trust me, it's the right energy, but in the wrong way. And they're so innocent. See a brother calling every sister he sees sweetheart, honey, which other word do you have? But he has no feelings and no desires for the sister. He just thinks that he should call her nice to make her feel happy. But as the sister keeps hearing sweetheart, the sister knows that I am indeed his sweetheart. Then tomorrow he calls another sister honey. You're like, I thought I was a sweetheart. How come there is a honey? Ask him to define that relationship. And the next one I would like you to do, the third thing that you should do, check your walk with the Lord. Most times when you find yourself yielding to the flesh, you've surely given the flesh an upper hand in your life. In other words, you've drifted from the things that you used to do that keeps you focused on God. What is your consecration? How much time are you spending with God? You're surely giving attention to things that glorify the flesh more than things that glorify the spirit. What are those things that when you find yourself doing, which are not necessarily bad? For example, watching worldly movies. Not that worldly movies are bad in themselves, okay? Not all worldly movies are bad, but there are some worldly movies that intentionally trigger you, especially the ones that have a lot of romantic scenes in them. You should not watch such things, because when you watch them, before you know it, you find yourself thinking on them. Why watch something that will cause you to start thinking wrong? Why watch something that you spend yourself meditating on, and at the end it's going to affect you as a person, will affect your heart, will affect your walk with the Lord? You don't want to do that. Don't watch them. It's as simple as that. If you must watch movies that will edify you. Movies that when you have finished from there, you go to the place of prayer. But there are movies that when you finish watching, you go and pray for yourself. You will know that your altar needs on fire, and you go back to your altar and you remain in the place of prayer. That's just an example. You know the thing that whenever you spend time doing, before you know it, you want to glorify the flesh all the time. Stop it. Stop doing that thing and replace it with something else. Like we said, you don't stop bad habits. You replace them with good ones. Instead of doing this, what will you do? Because if you stop it without doing anything else, you get back to it before you know it. So replace it with something that will keep your spirit man on fire. When your spirit man is on fire by yourself, you will crush that crush. So is it a sin to have a crush? Do not find yourself in that corridor. Having feelings for a brother is not a sin. No. But what you do with the feelings can lead you to sin. And what can result after that can cause you to sin. Why? If you've not guarded your heart and you find yourself having feelings for a guy just because, yeah, I don't know, you spend time with him, or because he ticks the boxes, or because whatever reason that you have, and you think that you cannot control your feelings and put an end to them, or you think that you cannot control yourself, finding out exactly what may have caused those feelings so that you cut off the trigger and let the feelings die. So much so that you cut off the trigger and be able to live life normally, looking up to God and trusting God for the one that He has prepared for you. Then there is a problem. And that's why you should not find yourself in such a space. If you find yourself crushing on a guy, identify the trigger. What is causing this? What happened before you started developing these feelings or catching feelings for him? What what were the steps that you took? For example, if you did take steps that have finally landed you into this situation that you don't know what to do, and you find yourself always thinking and even dreaming about him, and before you know, the devil uses takes you right on that and starts speaking, giving things to you that are not okay. Once you identify this trigger, you deal with it, handle it. If you spend time thinking about him, stop thinking about him, stop meditating about him. You have the power to control your thoughts. Philippians chapter 4, verse 8 gives us the characteristics of our thoughts, because the Lord has given us the power to think what we want to think. So the devil cannot force you to think about what you don't want to think about. You have the choice to reject the thought and think about what is right. If you are spending so much time in his space, pull yourself out. But if it happens that, for example, maybe he's your boss, for example, and you need counsel, seek counsel. So sometimes it's case specific, you see. Sometimes you need to seek counsel so that you can be guided on how to handle that particular situation. But if, for example, you're receiving a corresponding feedback from the person, ask him to define the relationship or the situationship, if it's whatever is happening between you, ask him to define it so you not find yourself being hurt at the end. So, what is our conclusion? Crush that crush before it crushes you. Handle it, deal with it, put an end to it. And if you're a married woman, you may want to go and have a discussion with your husband right away. That's how to destroy those things when it's still at the root, when it's still at the beginning. Open up, total transparency. If you're married and you find yourself catching feelings for somebody who is not your husband, the way out is not to conceal it. Talk about it with your spouse. You pray about it together. You may want to go and see your counselor. And that's why we say that every married couple should have a marriage counselor. Go to your counselor. Sometimes you may need to seek prayers, because sometimes this thing is even more spiritual. If you find yourself crushing over somebody, maybe for example, you have removed the trigger, you've you have cut off, you've done all what there is to do, you sought counsel, but you still find yourself, you may need prayers. Seek for prayers immediately. If a bond was created already, that bond should be cut so that you can live the life that God has called you to live and not find yourself turning in circles. Thank you so much for watching this amazing video. I hope you were blessed by it. Of course, if you have questions, drop them down in the comment section. If there's something you want me to talk about, any topic, feel free, drop it down, or you get to me inbox like others have been doing, and I would address that topic. And of course, we're going to share together what are your thoughts about having a crush, what are your thoughts about dealing with the crush, and what are your thoughts about the way forward. Drop down in the comment section and let's have a blast together. Forward we move. You are a virtuous woman, and God wants to use you for His glory. Thank you so much, amazing ladies, for watching this beautiful slot. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to Havila School of Marriage if you've not done so. And of course, tell a sister to tell a sister to tell a sister to tell a brother that Havila School of Marriage is up. Thank you so much. Looking forward to our next slot. God bless you. Bye.